from different walks of life. Welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir. You can go and sit down, everyone, if you haven't. Let's put our hands together as we go back to our seats. Can we put our hands together as we go back to our seats? Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're welcome, sir. Yeah. Can we please stand up for the opening prayer? Heavenly Father, we thank you for such a time like this, that everyone who has come here will leave here with a reformed mindset, with a transformational mind to be part of making Nigeria great again. Amen. Amen. Can we put our hands together as we go back to our seats? Thank you, everybody. Now, the second item is the national anthem. We're going to have the Nigerian national anthem and United Kingdom national anthem.
UK first.
UK first, please.
I'm no longer Queen, I'm King.
Nigerian national anthem, please. Once again, we welcome His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, to Manchester. Welcome, sir. We are excited and we are happy to see you today. I'm going to call on the coordinator of everything you see that's been handled here in Manchester, Dr. Osim, to please come and give us the welcome remarks. Can we put our heads together, please?
Your Excellency, the Chairman of Nigerian Labour Party, here present, and Your Excellency, our distinguished guest, His Excellency Dr. Peter Obi, and all protocol duly observed, I want to say a big thank you for honoring this invitation today. It's not been easy to put all this together. It has been through your effort that we have made it possible. So can we just clap our hand for ourselves? We are here because we believe in one cause. And I believe by God on our side, we shall be conquerors. The man that has it all. I always said he's the best man for this race. Among all the contestants, he remains the best man. And you can testify that for putting all your resources, your time, your finances to be here today. That shows you believe in that statement, he's the best. So we're going to listen to him today as he dined with us. And at the end of the day, we'll rub minds together and see how we can make a new Nigeria possible through Obi-Dati. So welcome everyone, sit relax. There's fuel to drink. If you need anything, just be free to ask us as we continue. Thank you.
Mr. Peter Obi, the Chairman, Labour Party, all other protocol observed. Ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome once again. Ni Bahaushe ne, ta wani wuri. Yawa, so you'll be hearing me maybe using Hausa sometimes, mixing my speech here. This time, I want to briefly give time to the organizers of the support groups, the leaders, to give their brief speech.
Presidential Global Network, PPGN. PPGN is one of the support groups that saw what God wants to do with Nigeria, especially when it came to the 2023 presidential election. And the only unifier that came up became Peter Obi. And then with the name Peter Obi, we could see people from Kano going into the 44 local governments of Kano State, doing grassroots work.
A resounding clap, because this man has gone over and above what you see taking place here. It takes a man of strength, a man of tenacity to do this. We celebrate you, sir. We celebrate your humility, and I want to give him the microphone to take over and introduce the man of the moment. Thank you very much, sir. Let's put our hands together. Let's keep clapping. You can't stop clapping. You just can't stop clapping. Thank you so much, sir.
Your Excellency, our own presidential candidate, the man of the moment, the game changer in the political atmosphere in Nigeria, the man of the people. No, I want to start. Okay. Please sit down, please. Please sit down. I want to recognize other members of his entourage, the UK chapter, chairman of Labour Party, and all others that have accompanied me to be here. First, I want to appreciate all the groups here for the beautiful work you'll be doing. I want to appreciate you profusely. The work you are doing here is resonating in Nigeria, and the feedback is tremendous. You'll be doing a very beautiful job, even though you are not going to be able to vote, but I know that some of you will vote and will join us in the campaign. I've got that feedback. But the work you are doing from here is having a lot of effects in Nigeria. And I want to stay here to appreciate the beautiful work you are doing. I have seen the passion, I've seen the commitment. I have seen that you're already converted. Because our people used to say that those who are converted, they don't need the sermon. Those who need the sermon are those who are yet to be converted. But it is sufficient to say clearly that the country is not working, the country is decaying, the economy has failed, politics have failed, security has broken down, all aspects of life of Nigeria is gone. And therefore, the decision you have taken, the decision we've all taken that we need to rescue the country is a patriotic duty that we need to take. And there's no other time to take it. The time is now. If we miss it next year, because of press, I don't want to say Nigeria would have been gone. But I'm happy that Nigerians have taken over this. They have taken the bull by the horn. Because the momentum we are gathering today, what we've seen today, has never happened in the history of the country.
Yes.
This is the first time people are keen into a political movement. People are contributing their money. People are driving this process.
Yes.
And this has been our dream in Labour Party.
Yes.
I say so because PDP and APC and other political parties are owned by money bags. That is why competent and credible people can never emerge from that process.
Yes.
That was why His Excellency could not emerge from that process, irrespective of his character, his competence, his pedigree, and his role modeling to people. Valentine Ozido couldn't make it in PDP because there are no stuff of that group. And the reason is because money bags have taken over the process. And they therefore dictate who takes the ticket. And you know what? They send their houseboys, they send their drivers, they send their mechanics to be governors, to be in the Senate, and to be in the House of Representatives. And that is why the country will never work. So long as PDP and APC remain in government under the current dispensation, it will never, never work. And that was why for us in Labour Party, we decided that we are going to have a people-oriented party. Party that will be driven by the people, that will follow the mandate of the people, that will follow the dictates of the people, and that will choose the popular candidates. And that was why we followed Peter Obi and made sure that he won the presidential ticket. And that's why we also ensured, because we know that Peter Obi cannot do it alone.
That's right.
If he becomes president without House of Rep members, without senators and others, he will face a lot of challenges. The energies we would have channeled into rescuing and working for the country will be channeled into fighting and fighting and fighting. And therefore, that's why we have opened our platform to credible Nigerians, to technocrats, to professionals that has what it takes to take over the country, take over government, and reposition the country for greatness. Our country has what it takes to be a great country.
Yes.
The human and natural resources is there. What has been lacking is proactive, vibrant, and articulate leadership that will harness our resources and put the country on the path of growth and development. And today we have found that man who can change the narrative.
That's right.
And that is no other person. It's not because he's my presidential candidate that I'm saying it. The facts are clear. The facts are clear. In terms of character, in terms of competence, in terms of capacity, in terms of credibility, there's no other person that has it. He's the only one that has it. The other two leading presidential candidates, whether Atiku or Tinubu, name them, cannot give us anything. And therefore, I want to appeal to you that you should not rest on your oars, because it is not over, not until it is over. I know that you have been working so hard. We have been working so hard. I don't sleep 5 hours a day because of the enormous responsibility and work. You know, the Labour Party was a small party. With Peter Obi coming to join, it has become a movement, it has become a mega party. Yes. And that entrusted on us huge responsibility to organize, reorganize, and reposition so that we can win. And therefore, none of us should rest on our oars. We should not be discouraged by what we hear or what we see, because the devil is there. The forces of darkness that do not want Nigeria to come to the limelight are still there. And they are liars. And therefore, they may want to discourage you. I want to appeal to you that we must be courageous. Amen. We must continue in this fight. Amen. We must continue in this struggle till victory is sure. Amen. I want you to join me to sing the Labour song. Yes. There is victory for us in the struggle for Nigeria. There is victory for us. Forward, ever, backward, never. In the struggle for Nigeria, there is victory. Victory, sure, we must win.
Let's put our hands together. Let's put our hands together. Please, can we be seated? We are all very obedient.
Please be seated.
Obedience in action. Please, can we be seated?
It took us 5 hours because when we wanted to come by train, they said it's train strike. And I said we will drive. We've been on the road for 5 hours. Unfortunately for me, when I'm driving and I'm walking or typing in the car, when I get to the next place, I feel a bit dizzy. You understand? So, for me, and we're going to drive 5 hours to go back. Because we must go back this night. I have a function first thing tomorrow morning. So for me, why do I say this? It is important that for all of you, the reason why you left what you're doing this evening to come here is for us to interact and talk about Nigeria.
Yes.
If it's picture, I'm willing to take picture and go home. It's easier for me. But I believe that we are here. I want to. The job of a leader is to listen and learn. Yes. Your job is to listen and say, what is this man actually talking about? We allow ourselves to be distracted. The reason why I came to Manchester, and I'm sure this is the first time anybody contesting president of Nigeria is coming to Manchester.
Let's put our heads together. It's a movement.
I came here because I want to explain to you what I think is the problem, and what I think is the solution, and what I think, and I want you to ask questions. From your questions, I will learn, I will take notes, and I will understand what the Nigerian people are talking. When I decided to get into this job, or to contest, or to be part of it, you know what I came here to do this evening? I'm applying for a job. Yes. And you must listen. You are the owners of this company called Nigeria. Nigeria is about to hire the next CEO. Yes, sir. And you must listen and do the interview properly. If you take a picture of me and I go, you've not done your job. Then you hand over the country again to somebody who will start giving you excuse tomorrow. So what you need to do is to do what? Listen to me, interrogate, be able to take notes. I came here personally, I didn't send a representative. I would have sent somebody, all these people who have greeted me, come and represent me. And they come and talk. Tomorrow if you send it, I said, I didn't say it. I don't know who said it. But I'm here personally so that you can listen to me. So please, if you can, leave everything, sit down, even security. Now I told you people, don't worry. If there's a problem, I'm here. If you sit down, even MC, sit down. All of you need to listen and argue.
Okay, everybody go.
And all of you that are here, you're VIPs. And I thank you for the sacrifice of your time. Sacrifice, you're here because you care about Nigeria. You're here because you believe in your country. That is why you're here. But unfortunately, your country is going through a very difficult time today. Things are not working. Admittedly so. It is not working. Today, all you hear in Nigeria is bad news. One form of banditry, one form of criminality is now classified as a fragile nation. Fragile nation is when you're no longer in control of your territory and when you're no longer in control of your economy. That's where we find ourselves. And it is going worse every day. We have, of course, the highest number of people living in poverty in the world. Everybody knows that. All of you knows that. There's no problem of Nigeria that cannot, you don't know. We have the highest out-of-school children. We have the highest youth unemployment. The list is on and on and on. How are we going to solve this? Becomes a problem. Because this, why did we arrive here? It is cumulative effect of leadership failure over the years. The leaders have not done what we're supposed to do. And that's been our crisis. And we need to manage this crisis. So next year we are about to do an election. We need to start reversing this. What are we going to do? It's not just enough to say that I listen to all the support groups saying, yes, and I thank you. I thank God door to door, PSN, I thank all of you for what you're doing. And in doing this, there's one of the things that we've lacked in the past, is that we've not taken time to scrutinize our leaders, those who are coming to serve us. We've not taken time to listen to them. We've not taken time to look at their past. So we are about 18 of us contesting today. 18 of us is going to tell you the true story. Fantastic stories. Very sweet stories. With Queen's English, qualified for anything. Wherever I go, the first thing people want to do is to, why don't we introduce you? Why don't you share about your CV? Why don't you talk about this and everything? I was in Oxford yesterday. I go to everywhere, every day. I only came back to UK yesterday from the US. In the US, I started, this is my second trip overseas. That first one, I was in New York on Sunday. On Monday, I was in Chicago. On Tuesday, I was in Detroit. On Wednesday, I was in Dallas. On Thursday, I was in Boston. And immediately from Boston, from where I was in the event, I went to the airport. I arrived in the UK yesterday. From the airport, I went to why am I doing all this sacrifice? I could send people. Yes. I could, after I'm doing an event in London tomorrow. I can ask people to come to London. But why am I doing this? Because I believe this is a time to go around and talk about this country to Nigerians. Most of you are here working 24 hours. Some of you left Nigeria 20 years ago. Some left 5 years ago. Some left, but those who left 30 years ago complained. Things are not moving. Those who left 20 years ago complained. Things are not moving. Those who left 10 years ago, it wasn't moving. Those who are living today are still complaining. So there's something wrong. And some of you think, oh, we are here. We're in a better country. We're in a better life. Where there's light, where there's this, where there's that. But let me tell you, your problem is worse. Why is it worse? No, don't clap. I want you to listen more. You've run away to where you think there's a better life. But let me tell you, your problem is worse. Because you have become social welfare for those you left behind. Yes, you become their doctor. You are their nurse. If they die, you are their funeral director. Because you can't abandon them. So the only way to do it is to change that place. So that even if you are running away, at least your hard work here, so you can even enjoy it. Have peace. But now, if you wake up in the morning and see messages from your people, you're even scared to open your WhatsApp or your phone. Because if you have 10 messages, 11 is send one. That's the problem. Truly, you can't change it. That's why we're talking about changing the place. That's why we're talking about issues concerning that place. It is nothing. Because things are getting bad. The question is, what is this problem that cannot be solved? Is it rocket science? And I ask you people, is it rocket science to provide security? I make speech every day. I say, well, listen, that's not the rocket science on it. What we need, what is Obedience going to provide? We've said that our first priority, I don't need to tell you about the problems again, is dealing with the issue of security, of life and property. And everybody will say, how? Why am I not giving me to make details? I've said it repeatedly. We will deal with the issue of security decisively. Yes, sir. We will make it responsive. We will make it responsible. And what do I say? We'll make it responsive and responsible. Responsive is that we're going to deal with the issue head on, and somebody has to be responsible, and if it doesn't deliver, go. Because there's nothing in it. Let nobody kill you. Some of it, what is happening, security is happening because of internal collusion. Yes. Period. Yes. It's only in Nigeria that I kidnapped this man. I'm kidnapped. This is my brother. They have a phone. They are phoning my brother to pay money. They are communicating with my brother. And arguing about what is going to be. And even if I'm sick, they'll call a doctor. So everybody knows where I am, except the security agency. Because once you use this thing called phone today, everybody knows where you are. In today's world, there's technology. You use technology to fight crime. In today's world, you can't give such excuse. No. It's unacceptable. You deal with it, it's acceptable. Yes. So let nobody kill you. You're in Manchester. They have local police in Manchester. They have regional police. They have national police. Why can't we have it in Nigeria? He said he wants state police. People are arguing. What is wrong in people protecting themselves? I was governor for 8 years. We have community security agencies. So you can deal with it. It's that simple. There's not an issue. Today, we're the only OPEC country that is not meeting up our obligation. Part of it is because our oil is being stolen. None of you here can steal oil. Oil is not grocery. You can't put it in your bag. You can decide to take a can of this drink and put it in your bag. But not oil. For you to steal oil, a ship has to come in and load it. No ship can come into your territorial waters unless your own security agencies give them permission.
Yes. Wow.
When they load, they can't leave unless they give them permission. And two, every ship in the world has a number and you can know where they are. So it is only people in government that steal oil. It is official stealing. And the money missing is very huge. That it will shock you. In a country that needs every dime, we are missing millions and billions every month. We are the only OPEC country that is not meeting our obligation today, except Venezuela, because of sanctions. Ours is just because stealing and other problems. And we're running a huge deficit. And people are stealing our money. And we have millions of people who don't know where the next meal will come from. And people are stealing our money. Our deficit is huge. Our deficit is about 40, 50 or 60%. But just to compare January to April, your country earned about 1.6 trillion and spent about 4-point-something trillion. Yet, in 2 months, we lost, even when we are not going to get all the share, because we're going to share it with everybody, in 2 months, we lost almost 3 trillion. In July, our production was 1,083,000. We are supposed to have total production of 1.8 million, because that's our OPEC approval. We have even increased it, but I'm using 1.8 that they gave us initially. We were losing 717 daily, all throughout July. It came to about 22,227,000 barrels, which if we multiply by 110, it was $2,445 million. That's what we lost in 1 month in July. If you start to, that's dollars. If you multiply with 550 naira, which is a moderate rate, it's about 1,344,750 million naira. That's what we lost. In month of August, it was worse. And nobody thinks about it. And we're all here keeping quiet. And we have millions of unemployed youth. And according to poverty record, we have 80-something million people living in poverty. In August, we lost more than what I said now. That means even if you want to, if government is serious, it's in our pipeline. All of us will be managing the pipeline. Since we don't eat and everything is missing, God becomes security in the pipeline. We have subsidy. which you classify as an organized crime. A subsidy, what we pay in subsidy is more than the money we pay in education, in health, and fighting poverty combined. We don't know any, we don't know. So these are things we need to deal with. We need to deal with the issue of corruption. People stealing our money. It's the biggest tragedy. So if you get a system where you secure the country today, remember what I said, first priority is to secure the country. If you secure the country and you get the farmers to go back, you deal with the issue of inflation because more food will come from the farms and everything, and food inflation will go down. And that's cascades going down of all your inflation. You deal with rule of law and order. That's where you fight corruption. And you create a regulating environment, policy, consistency of policy that will drive investment and make the whole place work. That is what that is also. When we say we are going to move the country from consumption to production, it's a simple thing. The country is not producing anything. That's why you're sending money home. The country, a huge country, that is not doing anything. What they're doing, I was talking with a prominent Nigerian this morning. I had breakfast with and he said to me, and I said to him, there's no way. I was not convinced today. And people say they can't understand this consumption to production. None of us, most of us haven't taken time to say, what is your country producing? What are they doing? Our exports today, a country of 200 million people, our export last year was 18.9 trillion naira, which if you use the official rate is $47 billion. If you use the current rate, the real rate of naira is about $30 billion. That is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. A country of how many? 200 million. 30 million. Our total export. If I want to compare it with the first world, I compare with the first world, I compare with the third world. If you compare it with a country like Netherlands is a country, Nigeria is a country with 210 million people, living on 923,000 square kilometers of land. Netherlands is a country with minus water of 33,000 square kilometers. So if we minus land size of Nigeria for Netherlands, you have 880,000 remaining. Netherlands has a population of 17.5 million. 17.3 actually, but call it 17.5. So if you minus it from Nigeria, which some say is 215, some say 200, you still have about 190 something people remaining. Fact, you have about 200 remaining. You up to 220. For Netherlands total export last year was over $600 billion. So a country with 215 or 220 million could not do 5% of what 17 million people did, living on almost how many times their land. In fact, there's a particular state in Nigeria, Niger State, is 76.3 thousand square kilometers of land. Niger State is 2.5 times the size of Netherlands. Just one state. Very fertile land. They have not done anything for themselves. They are waiting to share from the little one that comes from oil. Netherlands last year exported agricultural goods of $120 billion, over $120 billion. Netherlands earns about, Niger State earns from oil about 4 billion naira a month. Multiplied by 12, about 50 billion. If they had fed themselves and exported 1%, Wonderland did, it would be $1.2 billion. If you multiply that, the real rate of naira today is about 750 billion naira, which is about 5 times their budget. But they are waiting to share money from oil. It cannot continue. If you compare to the third world country, you go to Vietnam. Vietnam total population is about 100 million. Their land space is 331,000, a third of Nigeria. They live in a third of Nigeria in terms of land size. And their population is 50%. And their total export last year is over 300 billion. So Nigeria only did, this is a third world country. Nigeria, in terms of real rate, which I said if you use it in our export, official, $47 billion. The real rate of naira is about 30. So we could only do 10% of what Vietnam did. This is a third world country like us. They didn't export natural goods. They didn't export anything. What Netherlands exported was manufactured goods. They exported electronics, 60-something billion. Clothing, 32 billion. They did twice what we did from oil, we do from oil. For inserting clothing, what is in sewing clothing? Wait a minute, we have factories that can do that in Aba, can do that? But we are busy sharing money from oil. They have exported food. Products, just shoes and everything. They did more than we did in oil. You can go, the list is endless. This is Vietnam. The same thing you can talk about Malaysia. Malaysia is 329,000 square kilometers with about 30 million people, doing about 300 billion exports a year. So what is wrong with us? Because we're busy, you're sending money home to people to eat. Do you earn money here without working? No way. If you ever stake a kobo here, a pound here, without working, you'll be in jail. So when we talk about production, the country must be productive. And what does it take to make it productive? It's a simple thing. By the time we stop corruption, like I said in Oxford yesterday, any country where people who are in political office, like myself, is richer than people who are business people, the country will collapse. You can't have wealth without enterprise. Anybody you hear that is rich in this Manchester, you know what he's doing for a living. You cannot be rich without anybody knowing what you're doing. In Nigeria, people are rich without having a daytime job, without having a factory, without having an office. What do you do? Nobody knows. Peter Obi is busy here talking to everybody else. And when he wins the election, he buys the best house in Manchester. And why I blame Nigeria is that some of you collude with all of us. True. That's true. Because it's you who going to show it to us. If I come to Manchester now and buy the biggest house tomorrow, all of you will come there. I've called Bishop and said, Bishop, come and pray, do this, and be housewarming. Everybody's there. The Bishop is saying, God bless him to wherever I go to, he can multiply. A lot of you are drinking. Rather than call police because you know where the money came from. This is your country. It must stop.
Yes.
We have a country. We have one of the highest pool of young, energetic, talented young men that can change the world. Today they are suffering. Nobody cares for them. So my dear people, I'm here to interact with you. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here for you to ask questions so you know where we're going. I'm here to beg you for the sake of your country. I know you can't vote today, but you're influencers. But remind you, this is the last time that's what I want. The reason why they don't want you to vote, what is in voting? The diaspora is voting in Kenya, they are voting in Ghana, they are voting in Angola, they are voting in... Why not the giant of Africa? This is why our giant of Africa will now work. That giant of Africa will now work. For production today, what you need? A regulatory environment. Somebody said that. What is in providing life? Nigeria is giant of Africa. It generates 4,000 megawatts of electricity. For 200 million people, it generates 400 megawatts of electricity. Call it 5,000. The second biggest economy in Africa is South Africa. 60 million people, it generates a total of 50,000. And in the last 2 months, the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, have declared emergency in power and said that every South African can generate up to 100 megawatts without license. Somebody who is generating 50,000 declared emergency. Somebody who is generating 5,000. What do you think he would have got? But he's keeping quiet because why? He leads off the confusion. That's where I'm stopped. My dear people, especially the youths. And when I talk to the youths, I'm talking to the parents here. To go back and take their youths, we have only one job. Election next year. I've said now, I've said in the ending, it's not going to be about ethnicity. No ethnic group buys bread cheaper. No ethnic group in Nigeria having uninterrupted electricity. Neither in the north or in the south. No ethnic group is more secure. If you go, there's a problem in Katsina, there's a problem in Kaduna, there's a problem in Enugu, there's a problem in Abia, there's a problem everywhere. So, no ethnic group will tell you they're better. So it's not about tribe. Please, it's not about religion. Muslims don't buy food cheaper, neither do Christians buy food cheaper. And like I've always said every day, I'm a Christian, go to Dubai. The Catholic Church in Dubai is the land and the church was built by Emir of Dubai. It's described in the world, it comes there to worship. So it has nothing to do with religion. It's ethnic manipulation. It's not that everybody's turn. This is turn of Nigerians. Yeah. So let nobody tell you, let nobody say it's my turn. No. It was turn of Nigerians to take back their country. Don't vote for any ethnic bias. We must stop abuse of Nigeria because it's taking its revenge on all of us, and I will continue it. The revenge on our children will be worse. Let's take back our country. Thank you and God bless you.
very much. Can we all sit down because of time, please?
Hello, Nigerians. And to be able to generate the money that we need to do the work in Nigeria, things like this and details like that will be quite helpful. Thanks.
My name is Phyllis. I'm 19 years old. I'm a second-year student at London School of Economics. My question is, what do you think about the younger generation of Nigerians growing up in the Western world can do to the betterment of Nigeria or their role in the country's future?
Doctor.
Thank you very much. All protocols duly observed. Thank you, Your Excellency, for making our time to interact with us today. Invaded Taraba, we've done medical outreaches and sensitization campaign across the 16 local governments of Taraba State. And we are still looking at invading further states. Bauchi, Adamawa, and Gombe are in the pipeline. However, my question at the moment is, first of all, before I ask my question, most of the times we see government officials, past presidents, leaving Nigeria seeking healthcare outside the country, which is quite embarrassing to the Nigerians and to the doctors trained in Nigeria. Most doctors are leaving Nigeria chasing, greener pastures outside the country. Yes. I am a doctor. I was trained in Nigeria, and I never had the ambition at any point to leave Nigeria, but circumstances beyond my control made me leave Nigeria, and here I am at the moment. And I have the passion to go back home to, build our nation. Many of my colleagues say I have the passion. We want to come back home, but we need things to be put right to come back. My question now is, with Your Excellency, first question is, what are you gonna do to curb these, government officials leaving Nigeria, leaving our health sector in shambles and dilapidated states and going to seek healthcare abroad? That's the first question. Second question is, what are you going to do to reduce the brain drain, to stop the brain drain from Nigeria, especially from the professionals? And the final question is, Your Excellency, we are wishing you longevity. We are not wishing you, ill health or anything, but should in case you fall ill, are you going to leave Nigeria to go abroad to seek healthcare, or are you going to seek healthcare from the professionals in our country? Thank you very much.
Encouraged by your presence. One of the things somebody asked here was about a mandate, a plan. Now that's very, very difficult to be able to implement in your first few months if you do win, and hopefully you will win. But I'm more concerned about sustainability. In the past, there's always been this, here's our mandate, this is what we're going to do, all these preemptive promises, I have to say. What makes you a different candidate? How can we be confident that whatever building blocks you put in place, that these are sustainable over a long period of time? Thank you.
To build leadership, what are the things you're going to put in place to facilitate and enhance the youth to be able to take over the mantle of leadership after your time, sir? It's quite instructive that the youth understand that the future no longer belongs to the older generation. The future is ours. So,
lots of questions, I'll just go with you. He wants to know how you will ensure that his peers in Nigeria gets the quality of education that he does here as well. Secondly, he's been to Nigeria a couple of times and he, like his dad, always watch what's happening, and he wants to know how the leaders will be kept to their promises to deliver what they are meant to deliver and not just look out for themselves. And finally, given his age, he wants to know your thoughts on climate and how you're going to help keep climate change from Nigeria. Thank you.
Question. The other one I'll probably tell you that when it comes to the issue of climate change, let me be very quick. There's a protocol for climate change. And I assure you that we'll follow the protocol that is already established. We're not going to change from what Nigeria is already signatory to. We'll just follow what they've already signed. And where we feel it's not suitable, because even if you look at from the Ukraine war, some of the signatories are also trying to adjust a little bit. So if we are going to adjust, we'll still go back to having been signatory to it to see that we adjust within the protocols. So that one is given. On the quality of education, let me tell you, 3 things is what develops a society. Because when we talk about societal development, it's hinged on biggest measure of it is Human Development Index. Human Development Index is 3 items. Life expectancy, which you call human life expectancy, is health. Number 2 is education, which I consider number 1, even when it's number 2. The more educated society is, the better the society. Yes. And you can't talk about building physical infrastructure without building the human infrastructure. So for me, education is everything. And I've demonstrated it as a governor. You can go and see what we did in education in Anambra State. So tell your son we're going to do that. And I'm committed to it. On youth leadership, I agree and I said every day that the youth should be part of this. Let me tell you and assure you, when we talk about diversity and everything, the most critical thing I want us to achieve is the inclusiveness of women and youth in governance. This is one government that if we succeed, when we succeed, women and youth will be visibly represented. We need them in the government. Sustainability of governance. Thank you. We'll do that. We'll ensure. Youth, and when I mean youth. When I mean women. Sustainability of government, let me tell you, if you ensure free and fair election, if you stop transactional government, our commitment is to have purposeful leadership that will be less transactional. By the time you deal with all this process and make government less attractive and you have free and fair election, I can assure you sustaining your policies and everything becomes easy. Let me give you an example. In Manchester here, if there's a road that they say is one way, will any of you drive on it? No. Let me tell you, it's not only police that will stop you. The people who refuse. So, when you talk about sustainability of what you do, it's not about the people. If you elect a councillor, a council chairman, if you elect somebody today, mayor of Manchester, tomorrow, he buys a new house, you know what will happen? You're in jail. No. Taxman, house of investigation will start to know where he got the money. Is there any prime minister of UK today and tomorrow he buy a house? Everybody will come after you. In Nigeria, it's the opposite. We celebrate him. So sustainability is very easy. Doctor asked whether I will leave Nigeria for medical treatment. Doctor, I want you to ask your colleague in Nigeria. I built the teaching hospital from scratch. And as governor, I was attending them. And it will shock you. I've never been sick, I get tired. That's the thing. procedure to do a small, remove something. I lived in the UK, like all of you. Everybody knew it was from London. I went to serve as governor of Anambra State. So I lived in the UK for several years. It will shock you. My doctor in the UK has been doing all the medical checks. He didn't find that. But when I went to Nigeria, I went to local hospital in Onitsha. I did a test. And the reference sister who was in charge of the lab told me, I think you should go and check this thing again. And maybe you do a procedure to remove it now. But I've been doing this thing in London here. They didn't find it. After I came back to my hospital here, to my doctor here, who said to me, yes, if you want, you can do it. And transferred me to another doctor. I agreed and I will do it. It's better for me. I arrived there that morning and I want to do the procedure. Guess what? 2 young men walked in. They are black people. One is from Imo, one is from Ondo. And so even in the UK, I met people who did the procedure. We're listening. So I assure you that I'll try. Brain drain for me is not a problem. Trust me, it will be a brain gain. Because when we fix Nigeria, all those things you learn from here, guess what? You bring them back. India and China have changed today. You know what happened? Because the people that went abroad came back and changed it. You are the first investors we'll get when we start building a better Nigeria. You are the one going to attract the foreign investor, because the day white man see you going back to invest in Nigeria, they will follow you. That's what they did with India. I lived with somebody when I lived, my neighbor in the UK, my next door neighbor. This is my house, this is his house. Built a factory in India. I was exporting goods into UK. The factory was employing his people. They were living well, and he was making money here. That's what I want to do. That's what I want us to do. Because today, if you send money for them to build factory, they will eat it. If you send money to build house, they will eat it. So we must reverse it. So the brain gain will be medical tourism by officials of government. We will fix it. We will make sure. I won't tell you nobody will come here for treatment. No. But it must be on referral basis. So we have exhausted those who can do it locally. And it will not work, and you will see it. I don't even know where they will get the money to go anywhere. I keep saying it. The greatest asset, the greatest human asset we have today, the greatest human asset we have today are the youth. The reason why one of the main reasons we are having in Nigeria is that the energy, we are not unleashed the energy and talent of the youth. We have not unleashed the talent and energy of the youth. So we have allowed this enterprise to be managed and run by people, some of whom have since passed their destination. It has to stop. We need to unleash that energy. We have talented youth, we have talented everything. There's things you cannot do. I was talking to somebody this morning, a very prominent Nigerian, and I told him what the youth can do is incredible. And when I came here to do a program in one of the best universities there, it will shock you. I got into the school, and I said to me, everything you need, your all your books, all your assignments, everything, all your notes and everything is in your system. They just gave me, that's all, and said everything is there. It took me going to call my son. I said, hey, wait a minute. I came to collect books from these people to read. I look at what they, so the energy and the talent we need to unleash it. Somebody talked about manifesto. I'm happy the chairman is there as they're talking about the manifesto. Let me tell you about this election. The Labour Party, like the chairman told you, is the party that started yesterday. In the sense of what we are doing now. Forget that we have suddenly become the third. Forget that we have become a movement. Forget that we have become the third party of record in Nigeria. One minute. No. Let me tell you, the third can be first, but we are the third reckoning. No, I'm being factual. Before now, the party that is known is APC, PDP. So in terms of nation, we are now one of the three. So let's be factual, because it's important. You learn from that. Now, but let me tell you about manifesto. Let me tell you about written promises. That's where our government is coming in. Nigeria is not devoid, or Nigeria is not lacking in manifestos of people in the past. In fact, let me tell you, if you decide to look at manifestos of politicians, presidential candidates in Nigeria, the list will fill this hall. If you decide to look at little policies, documented ideas in Nigeria, it will fill this hall. What is lacking is two things. Number one is that the weakness of the institution to be able to deliver this, and the political will. And I have number three. What we are going to tell you, remember what I said, all of us, some will even speak better English. Some will even qualify themselves more than Peter. All of us are going to come with sweet talks, promising something that is fantastic. What this election is all about is about who can we trust that what he's saying he will do. So if Peter stands here and says, I'm going to fight corruption, and I say it every day, fighting corruption is easy. I'm going to fight corruption. People have asked me how. If what I want you to do is, okay, he was governor of Anambra State. Can we go to Anambra State? When you hear about corruption perception index, it's measured on one thing. It's measured on management of public resource. Nothing else. How did he share government posts? Because that's corruption. It's a major part of corruption. How did we share the land? He was governor in charge of land. Who and who got the land? How many did he get? How did he manage the resources? Because I said we're applying for a job. That's how you determine what are we going to do. If he says he's going to fix education and make it to be world class, what did he do with the last place where he was? If he says he's going to deal with health, if he says he's going to deal with this, let's go and see. If he says he's going to cut cost of governance, because that's another problem we have. Huge physical rascality in cost of governance. I can tell you it costs more to keep a governor in Nigeria than to keep the British Prime Minister. That I know, I've experimented it. And it's very simple. If they wake up tomorrow morning, or Monday morning, tomorrow in this country and see Louis with 5 vehicles, he will be removed the next day. Out of no confidence for being in 5 vehicles. 5. I'm not talking about 10. 10 is that he will not go back to his office. And I'm telling you, that's it. If they wake up tomorrow and see him going to Nigeria in a private jet, he has to explain. Because the British Airways that can fly him to Abuja. And that's how it works. If Germany wake up and see Chancellor in a private jet flying to Africa, it's a problem. So these are institutions. This is a country. Germany per capita is about 40,000. Britain per capita is about the same thing, 100,000. But a country with less than 2,000 per capita is living as if. So you can go on and on. So if anybody says I'm going to do this, forget about documented. My brother, I can hire the best of economists. They put anything. I'm here to talk to you. I didn't go today. You know what the model what we are quarreling with me in Nigeria? They say don't need to be a spokesperson. When people campaign here, they come to spokesperson. No. You know Obama because Obama was talking to the people. You know this trust because when it comes to campaigning, he will talk to you. In Nigeria, the presidential candidate has a spokesperson who is talking to the person. Why is he talking to 2 people? He should come and tell us what he's doing. I'm here in Manchester. Let people come to Manchester and talk to you people. Let them not send agents tomorrow and you're listening to them. And then you do fair. You organize this. That's what it should be. I didn't call in a 5-star hotel and give you buffet because I've not stolen anybody's money. So when somebody says I'm going to do this, and I challenge people, I've been governor and left office 9 years ago. When I started being governor was 2006. Because of my difficulties in starting being governor, I quarreled with everybody. As you know, quarreled with everybody from House of Assembly to teachers in school. Schools were shut down, to hospitals, doctors were on strike. Everybody was everybody. Because I was trying to bring a change. If you bring a change, there will be a problem with everybody. Because everybody lives up the old order. When they understood what I was doing, of course you know I was removed from office twice. I was impeached. Because nobody understood what this man was coming to do. But I started implementing MDG. Nigeria was the signatory to MDG in year 2000. It was MDG that allowed China to pull 409 million people out of poverty. Nigeria threw people into poverty within the same period. But I started implementing MDG in 2008. 7 years after it started, by the time they finished in 2015, Anambra was #1. Because we were #1 in education, we were #1 in health, and I can go, not say we won the gate prize for Southeast. I can go on and say what we won over the years. We did very well in terms of development. As at that time, we had the best road network, the ministry. I didn't borrow 1 penny from any bank. Yes. No financial institution will ever say people we borrowed 1 kobo from them. The day I left office, I was not owing any contractor, supplier who have executed his job 1 naira. I was not owing salary. I cleared all the pension and gratuity. I wasn't owing anybody. And I left in 3 banks in Nigeria. The banks are still there. I left in Access Bank $50 million over 10 billion naira. I left in Diamond Bank $50 million, over 10 billion naira. I left in Fidelity Bank over $50 million, over 10 billion naira. And I had investments in other facilities. And today, I'm the only guy that the governor has signed. When they brought a law for me to sign for my pension, I told them that nobody is entitled to anything. Anambra State have not bought me pure water. This bottle of water since I left 9 years ago. Go and see it. Go and check it there. I have no land. No single land. Will you see that allocated to me directly and directly by Anambra, and I signed over 10,000 COOs for other people. Nobody from my town was appointed a commissioner. And I can go, no OB, nobody from my town. Because I was entrusted public wealth. I had to share the responsibility. And I served in other different areas. I was chairman of Security and Exchange Commission. Go there and ask them whether they got me pure water. Yes. So if anybody says I'm going to fight corruption, let's know how you managed the last place when you left. I told somebody I'm going to fix education. I told somebody I'm going to fix education. I'm going to fix education. Because I moved to Anambra State from 26 and 27 to number 1. If you go to Anambra State when I was governor, no single school in Anambra State, every school had 2 buses. They have computers, they have internet, they have generator. Chimamanda said 2 days ago, I was in Harvard on Thursday. I spoke at Harvard. Chimamanda said, when a young girl came to her and said, as a senior prefect, I had Peter Obi's phone number, that she thought it was a joke. Until he started showing her exchange of text, 2 of us were exchanging. And I said to everybody, go and ask any senior prefect that was there when I was governor. They all had my phone number. Every senior prefect had my phone number. And I was interacting with them directly as governor. So don't tell me you're going to do this because you are applying for a job. Tell us what you did in the past. The job of a leader is to solve problems. The job of a leader is to be able to find solutions, not to blame. Nigeria, you vote people in, they start reminding you that when Comparative was there, that this, or that the Comparative caused this problem, or that this person caused it. No. If the past was doing well, we won't hire you. We hired you because they are not doing well. We don't want you to remind us of the past. Because that's how we hired you, because those people who were there were not doing well. So that's why we hired you. So we didn't hire you to remind us what they did or what they didn't do. God did not give us eyes to look back. I want to see the new Nigeria. So it will not happen by manifesto. It will not happen by what? Manifesto. Leave it short of manifesto. Leave it short of written thing. I can bring it. So when people come and tell you, oh, Peter, we are looking for this. Let me tell you, we have manifesto. But the real manifesto is this. When I was campaigning for Northern Anambra State, they will give me what the other people wrote. 5 pages, 20, 30 pages. My own was 1 page. I will change school. You know, I will change school. I will do this, I will do this. They say this man is not serious. What is he talking? I'm giving you the manifesto. Into my mouth tonight, what is the thing about? What I'm telling you is the manifesto. Because they won't come to you, that's why they have written something. Find out in the road, it's hidden. The people there, they didn't write something. Very good, they won't even read it. They don't even know what is written in it. And you know when I was starting here, I told you that I didn't allow people to talk about my CV. It's simple. People want to read, Obi went to Nigerian University, like I told him in Oxford yesterday. I said, I don't want you to be reminded. I'm an alumnus of Oxford, of Cambridge, of Kellogg. I've passed through Harvard, Columbia, everywhere. But the educational qualification is not a measure of integrity. So let's keep that aside. It's not a matter of hard work. Show us where you've done what you say you will do. Don't come and tell us, oh, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. We want to see empirical evidence that you've done it before. Being president of Nigeria is not a joke. So we don't want you to come and tell us, oh, we will do this, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. If you say you're going to stabilize the Naira, people have asked me, how are you going to manage the collapsing rate of Naira? Naira is collapsing because you have physical irresponsibility and you're not productive. Simple. Because you're printing money, people are stealing public money, people are earning money from subsidy without doing anything. When you have money that is not product of hard work, chasing dollars, they will pay everything. That's what you have. Two, you're not exporting. If you can't earn more dollars, you need to earn more dollars. I'm just giving you an example. If you triple Nigeria, if you move Nigeria from earning, say, $50 billion to 150 billion, which is the least we can do, you stabilize your currency. It's simple. It's not rocket science. Like I said, generating power is not rocket science. You can deal with it. You're burning gas. Today, Nigeria is so advantaged. Nigeria have about half the size of Russian gas reserve. Russia is generating every single month about $1 billion every day. We call it even every day. They call it even every month. Russia generates several billions from gas. If we can earn what Russia generates every day today from gas, if we can earn 10% of it today, you can change the world. Yes. What? 10% of it. We have half of their reserve. And Europe is looking for it. It will shock you. Egypt doubled their power generation from 20,000 to over 55,000 to over 50,000, about 55,000 between 2015 and 2020. So it's not rocket science. It will shock you that Egypt is about to export power to Europe. That is the change. We're not talking about first world now. Everything that we have, and we have talent, energy that can do this. So if anybody says to you, write glossy manifesto, let us do. If someone says I'm going to cut cost of governance, I want to now tell you about manifesto very well. Because the critical component, somebody said is the most important thing here. If somebody says I'm going to cut cost of governance, ask him where he cut it before. Because they've governed before. I can tell you. Go and ask anybody. As governor of Anambra State, I flew economy for 8 years. I carry my box. I go everything. I never went to Abuja with my ADC. Everybody knew. As governor of Anambra State, I shut down our lodge in Abuja. I said, governor of Anambra doesn't live in Abuja. I shut it down. I shut down all our guest houses. When I was looking for money to put in education, because when I came in, 30% of our budget was almost going to the office of governor. I reversed it. I said 10% must go to education. 10%. By the time I finished everything I was doing, I was left with only 4%. And I said, I'm going to deal with it. And you could see it. I was the only governor who operated with that office of First Lady. Because nobody, I and my wife, everybody knows, are so close that you can't imagine it. But nobody voted for my wife. Since are married, you are one, isn't it? Yes. So I'm the one who they voted for. So they voted to 2 of us. So 2 of us decided to run one office. You know, they have another convoy of 20 persons creating additional confusion. When there's already enough confusion to deal with. Until today, I can tell you as I'm coming here today, the person was in my car knows how many times me and my wife. She knows I'm here. She will even tell me, you're tired, better sleep in Manchester, come back tomorrow, this is it, do this, of course, you know, this thing you're doing, but it's me that you saw here now. So why create another office when I'm going with a routine of service to cut costs? So if somebody said I'm going to do it, ask him last time, where did he do it? So the manifesto is what I'm telling you, you're taping it now. That's the manifesto. Physical one. Not written one. This is the one that will be obeyed. That one is when you look and say, where is it written? Who wrote this thing? It's the party. Then they will blame the party chairman. It's Julius that wrote it, or they blame VAR. I said they wrote it. I didn't know when they wrote it. Is that what they're telling us today? APC says the $1 to $1. Yes. Now you remind them, they said they never did it. It was the party problem. Now let everybody who is contesting come and say it with his mouth. We document it. So even if he doesn't achieve it, we might not get 100% result, but we will put 100% effort. Peter is telling the youth of Nigerians, hold me responsible. I will be charged. I'm not going to delegate it. I visited every single school in Anambra State. I'm going to do it from the front. If I say I'm going to solve the security problem, I'll be in charge. The last boss is my desk. I'm not going to delegate anybody. And I'm not going to be blaming anybody for the failure. I'll take responsibility for it. That's what we're looking for. And this job is a job that requires every of the time. So thank you for this. I assure you of my commitment. I assure you of everything. We'll take only 2 more questions. So we can end.
All right. Hold on.
Campaigning under the same Labour Party for the House of Representatives in Oluyole, Ibadan, Oyo State for the 2nd time. I actually contested in 2019 and I came 5th out of 26 candidates. Like I did, without a structure, it was only myself and Ataishe Sodiq, the Guba candidate, who is now the party chairman. So I'm just asking these questions because we are contesting to win, and presently we are winning. But to sustain that, it is quite disappointing to see the trend of, like you mentioned earlier, the trend of religious and ethnic sentiment that is being used by other 2 parties to campaign in Nigeria. But it still boils down to the strength of canvassing. Yeah, I know there are a lot of support groups. What's the input of the party and even the support groups in enlightening our people back home on religious and ethnic sentiments? Because they are not as informed beyond that level due to lack of exposure and poverty as we are that are here. So because personally, apart from the input that I have put at the local government is a struggling effort because of the population of people that we have on our side currently are vastly the youth. We need the older ones as well. Are there plans on canvassing and to do more at the grassroots level? Because the support groups, the question goes to the support groups, the party and the presidential candidates should strengthen and come up with viable strategies on winning by enlightening our people against the religious and ethnic sentiments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. They said if you are not tested, you cannot have a testimony. That means if you've not written an exam, you can't have a result.
Your Excellency, it has been 8 years that I've been longing to thank you, to say thank you for what you did to my family. My wife is a beneficiary of the 1 million naira Academic Excellence Award that you gave out in 2013. That shows how you reward academic excellence. That shows the value you have for academics. So I thank you so much, and I know that when you get there, you will do more.
Thank you very much. On this note, the last question has been asked.
Boss.
His Excellency wants to speak.
My question is... Let's do it. I'll come down now here. I don't want you to sit down.
Please, can we be seated, please? Can we be seated? Thank you very much. Can we be seated, please?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. My question is about corruption, and it's on the stolen funds that are being channeled to other countries like the UK and the US by politicians. So a lot of money has been channeled over time, over years. And it's just hanging here. Okay, stop this now. If people don't want us...
Can you please sit down? We should be obedient. Because I am obedient and we are not obedient. Can you...